So the first thing that we hear people say is, I just don't know where to start. I don't really know. There's so much uncertainty. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I haven't even got a framework. I don't even know the first step.
Mm.
And by the end of the call, or the information that we send them, people always say, great, I've got a plan. I've got a framework that I can then work through for myself. It's not them doing exactly what we do, because we never tell people what to do. We just say, look, here's what we do and why we do it. Now go and make it your own. Like, add your personality into it and make it that's relevant to you.
Make it tailor-made to yourself and your own situation. Yeah.
Yes, because everybody's different. Everyone's in a different position. So, look, here's the thing that we find. People have decided they want to purchase metals, and if you're not at that point yet, then check out some of our other videos, and you'll see the reasons, some of the main reasons why we buy metals for ourselves. When you've decided, yes, I'm going to buy metals, people always say, well, what do I do with them? Where do I have them? Do I have them at home? Do I have some at home? Do I have them all at home? Do I have them in the vault? If I have an option of several vaults, which vault? Do I still have cash? Do I have cash in a bank account? Do I have cash at home? What do I do? And it's all thrown up in the air. And because there's so much uncertainty, people don't know where to start. So
yeah, guys, add something in there too, Adam, just quickly. Just
go ahead.
Right at the beginning of my journey, because I started purchasing metals before you did, didn't I? A couple of years before yourself, I think, wasn't it? And I remember, I'm not knocking Bullion by Post, by the way, but I remember going on their website and going, oh my God, where do I start here? There's that much choice. It actually stopped me from taking any action initially. I was like, I don't know where to start. There's that many different bars and coins and different manufacturers. And like,
you had no,
God.
But you had no one there kind of decoding that and saying, okay, well, look, these are the bars and these are the coins. This is how it works. You're just overwhelmed by options. So I think for us, we just want to limit those options by showing people the path a little bit and say, look, well, this is how this works. Group them together. It's not a million options. It's actually 4 options, and it's this, and this. So when we first started, more so with you, James, but I kind of went down the same path and the same mental journey as well of you just want everything close. When there's uncertainty, when there's fear, people contract and they want everything close and they want it under the pillow. They want it in the pocket. They never want to leave it. If they do want it in a vault, they want it in the closest vault to them. Everything's just close and contracted. And what we found is when you take a step back and you assess things for what they are, it's rarely the best option. Let's put it that way. What we found is if you have options of different vault locations, then actually having metals outside of your country can bring great benefit. Taking that another step further, outside of your country and in several locations can bring great power in diversity, in diversifying. So try and step back from the emotional uncertainty and just think about planning for every eventuality. Like having everything close, does that solve all potential problems in the future?
And we know this, Adam, because as you've said, we've been on this journey. You know, I felt exactly the same way as you've just described there initially.
Yeah.
You know, and what through our knowledge and experience now. Well, for me personally, it's been 10 years now been purchasing metals. I've changed my opinion on so much. You know, with on that journey. I think very differently now to what I did back then.
Yeah. So people say, well, look, do I have some at home? And all of this is entirely preference. So you can do whatever you want. This is just our opinion on it. If you're going to have some at home, make sure it's an amount that you are comfortable with and that you don't go from a level of uncertainty where your cash is vulnerable in a bank, let's say, to then having all of your metals at home and in another place of uncertainty, because that doesn't solve the problem. That just creates another problem. So have an amount that you are comfortable with, and that's totally different for every person. Some people will be happy with £500, $500, euros. Some it'll be 5,000 and everything in between. Just be comfortable with it. And don't, if you're leaving the house and worrying about your metals being in your house or your family,
being
not protected or vulnerable, then you probably got a bit too much. Maybe
which I did initially. Which I did initially, and I certainly would never do that now. We have a little bit, not at home, but nearby, but not much. It's not a lot. Yeah. It's enough. But yeah, I'm much happy having mine in the vault. I'd never keep all that metal that I've purchased over the years now at home. Not in a million years. I'd never leave. No. I'd be walking around in body armor and have 3 Rottweilers and flipping cam. Oh God,
Well, you do. You're coming with all the chinking of bars and coins and
yeah. It's not like I've got a lot, but I've got enough in the vault. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's silly amounts, but still, I would never. No chance. So it's just weighing it up, isn't it? We're not knocking having some in your hand nearby or at home. We're not knocking that. We're just giving you the options from our experience and our knowledge. What you
And we've kind of gone to all extremes on our journey. So we want to give you the package solution after we've gone through all of that.
Because we do have people contacting us, Adam, don't we? Panicking a bit. They've watched a video and someone said, if you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Yeah, we hear that so much.
Yeah, and we do get that, but also, do you really want it all at home? So you just got to wait up and be sensible.
Here's the thing:
logical.
If you're comfortable holding it in your hand and having it all there. Sorry, Simon, I could see your mouth.
I was just going to say one thing about that's really important. Yeah, is that you'll never get it insured in your own home anyway.
Never,
absolutely.
No
chance. We've never heard of anyone getting metals insured.
You get robbed. It's at home. All of your investment has gone, and there's no chance to. I think people should just keep a couple of coins, gold coins, just as an emergency. Sure. But to keep anything more serious than that, you can't protect it through insurance. So it's better being with an organisation that is bona fide and is insured. Yes. And that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah,
absolutely. Great point.
And that was one of the things. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just sat here feeling incredibly sad. I'm in a country here where I could leave a gold bar worth 5,000, 50,000. I could leave it on my dining room table in Dubai. Nobody would touch it. In fact, if I took it outside and put it on my front doorstep, nobody would touch it. I could leave it there nobody would touch it. Isn't it sad that the United States and Europe and the UK you're worried about your gold, and it's 5,000 or whatever it is. Yeah. You're worried that someone might break in and steal it. That doesn't happen here in the Middle East. And I was just sitting here realizing how sad that is that we've got to such a state in the world, and that the problem we've got, and I've said this so many times, the governments in all of these countries are stealing from the people. Yeah. So the people think it's acceptable to steal.
Yeah.
To them, it's the norm. They've just made it normal, haven't they? It's just the way it is.
Do you know, Charlie, that's very sad. That's a really important consideration. Is with all of this, we're saying, how much you keep at home and things like that. Consider the environment that you're in and the country that you're in. Because you might feel comfortable with £500 or $500, euros in your home in the UK, but in other countries, that might be a really bad idea. We speak to some people and they say, I wouldn't dream of having any in my home.
Yeah, I spoke to a lot of people in South Africa and they've said, no chance, not in a million years would we keep
anything. There's no way we would do it. Yeah. No way. So, again, this is why it's personal and it's not do what we do in the north of England, because it's such a narrow-minded and such a narrow option. We want to say, look, here's some principles, make them your own. But these are starting points. If you are going to have metals at home, we would suggest that having small denominations gives you more options rather than having one big bar or whatever. That if you needed to, you'd have to sell the whole amount. Have smaller denominations so that you can be flexible and you can be nimble and pivot if you need to. So again, it's about planning and positioning yourself for every eventuality, and it brings so much confidence. We've talked about it many times, but it brings you so much confidence that whatever happens, you can get through it. You and your family will get through it, and you're prepared.
And what we personally mean by that, just to be a little bit more specific, Adam, is 1 ounce silver coins. You know, they're really good for barterability, aren't they? If it really did get that bad and you'd have to use them, they're perfect. A 1 gram bars of gold. And maybe a few 1 ounce coins of gold, but they're worth a lot more. They wouldn't be as barterable. But I like to have one when I'm traveling, like Charlie said, just in case I ever got stuck, you know. So that's good for that. But this is just me personally. I'd much rather prefer to have the 1 ounce silver coins and 1 gram bars of gold. I don't like much more than that. I've got a little bit more than that, but yeah, it's because again, when people get this message, then the next question is always, well, okay, what do I buy then? What do I buy? What denominations do I buy? So there's a little bit more, information for you. Know? A bit more detail.
I think that's a really important point because I do the same. Supposing you're out driving and there's some form of crash, economic crash. And you go to the gas station and the guy says, I'm not taking cards, I'm not taking cash. You pull out your grab of gold and you can fill your tank up. You can fill your tank up. I mean, it's things like that, which I think British people have never had to face. They've never had to face the concept of that. And it's alien to them. But you know, I know we all of the 4 of us here, we would travel. If we traveled, we would ensure that we could get out of a difficult situation if we had.
And that's an important distinction. It's really important because we're not talking about having cash and metals in your hand that you can then survive for the next 5-10 years. It's not about that. It's about whatever happens, can you get through that situation? And having some metal on you to fill up your car so you can get to that destination. That's the problem that the metal is solving. It's getting to that next point. It's not about surviving forever on gold in your hand. I don't think that is the best option, to be honest.
Well, for instance, getting home safely with your family. If something happened such as that, you know, it's just to get home safely, if nothing else. You know, it always makes me feel a lot safer having it in my hand, you know, having a little bit with me. Well, it's normally, when I'm traveling personally, it's normally just a 1 ounce gold coin. You know, so I think that would definitely, you know, get you home, wherever you are.
Calling all US citizens. Check out the link in the description to get your free Gold Busters ebook.